The 1968 Edcouch Elsa Walkout interview by Catherine Guerrero. I have always had an interest in the movements that took place in the 1960s. I find it weird that people had to endure a time where being racist was a norm. There was a world totally different from what is considered acceptable by society today. One movement that I find interesting is the Chicano movement. This is because I consider myself a Chicana, and I feel like the Chicano movement made the world a better place for Mexican Americans today. The Chicano movements consisted of organizations, protests, and walkouts and other movements for equity for the Mexican American community. Schools became a more positive environment for students. Back then, it was a different story for Chicano students. Students faced prejudice in schools by the staff, and they did not have much support to go to college. This prejudice then contributed to the Chicano movements. Furthermore, I decided I was going to focus my interview on the discrimination and prejudice Chicanos faced and ask about the 1968 Edcouch Elsa walkout. This is because I am from this little city. My grandparents attended Edcouch Elsa in the 1960s. Growing up, my grandparents would tell us about their experiences in school when they were children and teenagers. Here is some footage of what they had to say about the walkout and school.
This is Jesus Guerrero. He was born in 1949. He attended Edcouch Elsa School District. I will be interviewing him. Hi, Grandpa.
Hola.
Did you like school?
No,
¿Por qué?
porque nunca me gustó. De que tenía 6 años que entré, nunca me gustó la escuela. Y pues no sé, pero la razón era que, pues no sé, era muy cabezudo, no quería yo la escuela.
How did the teachers treat you?
No, la maestra era muy malas, eran malas eran más malas las maestras que los maestros, porque la maestra, la gringa, no quería el mexicano.
Grandpa, you were telling me about that they would send migrants to a school called Los Burros.
Ah, sí, cuando estuve yendo aquí de chico, pues bueno, siempre, cada vez que se acababa la escuela yo pasaba, pero cuando yo llegué a sixth grade, me mandaron para Edcouch Elsa a la escuela y allí todos los que iban, las mujeres y muchachos, decían que esa era la escuela de los burros.
Okay, so when he says burros, he means like the school of the dumbs, right? It meant dumb.
Sí, que no, medio mensotes.
And in the Edcouch Elsa walkout, what was happening, Grandpa?
Oh, pues hubo una huelga de eso que usted me está preguntando, porque como no querían al mexicano tampoco, y cuando yo fui, yo tenía 16 años, yo fui, iba de pasada porque siempre andaba andando, y ahí fue donde yo conocí a Lucero Medina y a Concha Medina.
Sí.
Estaban afuera sentadas las dos y como eran muy amigos, llegué y le pregunté a Lucero qué estaba pasando. Dijo que había un walkout por lo que estaba sucediendo. Pero como le digo, muy malos. Malos que eran los gringos.
Did you want to join them?
Walkout.
Sí.
Sí, pues que yo quería hablar, decir algo también. Pues tenía derecho a mí. Si me habían preguntado, yo les fuera contestado. Porque como le digo, no querían a los mexicanos.
Sí.
Y nos trataban muy mal a nosotros, los ponían en una esquina, volteado así y con una cachucha, y ese quería contener que eran los burros. Y también pues sí, nos pegaban y en veces con una rula nos pegaban en las manos. Pero no, el tiempo mío era muy mala, los gringos. Iban los principales también, pero era que yo nunca me dejé de los gringos, yo sabía poquito inglés, pero no me hacían a mí que yo hablara inglés, yo hablaba español. Y si te pescaban hablando español, te castigaban.
As you can see, my grandpa was a very strong believer in being himself, and he's really true Mexican American. He likes his culture and he sticks to it. Grandpa, are you proud to be Mexican American?
Sí, yo estoy contento que soy mexicano. Yeah.
Gracias, Willow. Thank you. This is Maria de la Luz, also known as Lucero. She was born 1954 and she attended Edcouch High School. This is her interview. Hi, Grandma.
Hi.
Did you like school?
No.
Why?
I saw a lot of discrimination as a young girl. I was about to get spanked by a principal that was Hispanic because I couldn't understand I didn't understand the English because my most of it I was in my home Spanish was spoken. I remember that they would give us books, but only the ones that were smarter. They would take books home, and I never got to read a book. Never got to read a book or to take home to read a book. It happened one time that this boy, he was sitting on the next line from me, and he remember coming from lunch, and we all sat down, and then he started leaning his chair back, and then he said, "If you don't stop, if you don't stop, I'm gonna spank you." He told him, and then he did it again. And the teacher said, "I told you not to lean on the chair, And he said, "No, it was her." And I said, "What?" And my sister said, "No, it was him." So we three got spanked because of him.
That's not fair.
No, that was about the walkout. There was a walkout, and when I was in the 7th grade, and my friend would tell me, we were in PE, and she would tell me, "Come, let's go outside. Come on, come with me." And I would say, "No, why? Come, everybody's going out." I said, "Why? Everybody's walking out." I said, "Why?" Because they said that as Mexican and a white were fighting, and I said, "No, I'm not going out. I'm afraid of my dad, catching me doing things that I'm not supposed to."
Like when she came back, what happened to her?
Okay, when they said that they were coming all back, I don't know, really, I don't know what was going out there, right? So when she came in, they explained to us that they were coming in, but they were all gonna get a 0. And then I remember having the test, right? And she had the test too. And then we all passed. We all gave our paper to as we were finished.
To Mr. Champion, right?
That was Mr. Champion. He was an Hispanic man too, a teacher. And then when we gave our paper to him, he put up a 0 on her paper, and I felt so bad because this is my opinion. Being him an Hispanic, why would he do something to another Hispanic? But then I thought probably he wants to plan with other teachers, white and everything.
I know that I've been doing research on Mexican American culture, and throughout the years, a lot of Mexican Americans have been trying to
give their opinion.
No, they've been trying to adapt to Anglo ways that they wanted to like adapt to them and pretend that they were them, and they wanted to ignore their whole culture. So, in a way to blend in with them. So that's why.
And when I was in Florida, and then we migrated to Florida. After the walkout, we went to Florida, and I didn't want to go to school. I was scared.
Do you think that if you were going to school at this time, you would be able to finish school?
Yeah, I think I would have a better language probably. I mean, and I could have become something. I think, but anyway.
But you did get your GED when you came back, right?
Yeah, in my 30s.
And then you graduate. You said you graduated STC in what year?
In 2012. I got my certificates, and so I did it. I mean,
are you happy that the movements happened?
Yes, it did.
It brought change, right?
It brought a lot of changes. Yeah. Now if a student needs help, they help them. But in my time, I remember I would stay after school when I was in the 7th grade. And nobody would come and help me or anything. I mean, I would say, what's the use of me staying after school if they're not helping me? So, I mean, that was the year that I dropped out of school.
Because they wouldn't help you or encourage you to do stuff.
It was, to me, it was like, okay, I mean, if you learn it, if you didn't, that's your problem. That's how I saw it. That's my opinion. So, I mean, maybe, I mean, I would have, I would have had somebody to really help me out. I wouldn't have that problem. I wouldn't drop out of school. I think things are better now than before.
Of course. And I'm really happy that your generation helped changed for us.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
My grandchildren, my sons.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Grandma.
You're welcome.
After listening to my grandparents about their experiences, I was glad I did not endure an environment like that. Mexican American students were being called burros. This is not right because the term implied dumb. My grandparents even mentioned a school called La Escuela de los Burros, where migrant students would attend. Moreover, I found it interesting that there were Mexican American teachers that accepted how students were being treated. This is because many people were trying to blend in with the Anglo-Americans. This reminds me of the LULAC organization that tried to blend in with white culture by not associating themselves with Mexican culture and trying to make themselves seem more American by accepting white culture. In contrast, many students were proud of their culture, which caused them to take a stand against racism. They wanted to be treated with respect, and they wanted their culture to be respected. Moreover, I saw a video of the Edcouch Elsa walkout that reached national news. This walkout contributed to the district changing and embracing Chicano culture. 2 years ago, the school celebrated the 50th anniversary of this walkout that showed the pride of Chicanos took in their culture. I guess it is why my little town has a lot of pride. I was proud that students were taking a stand for their culture. Other cities that participated in the walkout, like Crystal Lake City, brought the introduction of Mexican American studies. I believe classes like this gave Chicano students a sense of belonging. I am proud to be Chicano, and I'm thankful for the people that participated. Thank you for watching.